Have you ever wondered what it's like to visit a place where stunning landscapes collide with unbelievably strange traditions? Picture vast, rolling plains, a sky that seems infinite, and people whose customs defy everything you think you know. Mongolia isn't just another country on the map. It's a realm of awe, mystery, and spellbinding beauty. Today we're diving into 19 bizarre yet fascinating facts about this extraordinary land, guaranteed to make you see the world differently. Hey everyone, it's Lucas here, and welcome to Unmasked Planet, the channel where we peel back the layers of our incredible world to reveal its best-kept secrets. Before we jump in, I want you to comment below with this motivational mantra. Curiosity fuels my journey. Let's build a community of fearless explorers who are ready to embrace the unknown. Mongolia. The very name conjures images of unending grasslands, towering mountains, and a proud history shaped by some of the most formidable conquerors the world has ever seen. Yet, behind those sweeping panoramas and tales of Genghis Khan lies a treasure trove of bizarre, delightful, and sometimes mind-bending facts that set Mongolia apart from anywhere else on Earth. You might be tempted to think, sure, Mongolia is huge and sparsely populated, but what could possibly be so unusual? Well, buckle up, because these 19 strange things are bound to spark your curiosity. From mesmerizing beauty pageants in far-flung corners of the steppe to herds of wild horses that gallop through the plains without a care in the world, Mongolia is full of surprises. Imagine the thrill of discovering that there's a festival where eagle hunters show off their centuries-old bond with these majestic birds, or stumbling upon a hidden culinary tradition that might make you raise your eyebrows, but also leave you craving more. Why highlight these strangenesses? Because sometimes, understanding a culture's most unusual aspects is the key to truly appreciating its heart and soul. Once you go beyond the surface, you see how the Mongolian people have adapted to an environment that can be overwhelmingly harsh, yet unbelievably beautiful. Their traditions, many of which have endured for generations, speak volumes about survival, family ties, and respect for nature. For instance, consider the concept of a gyr, also known as a yurt, the quintessential Mongolian dwelling. At first glance, it appears as a simple round tent, but its design is steeped in practicality and deep-rooted custom. Everything from the door facing south to how it's divided inside reveals a philosophy of communal living. To outsiders, it may look charmingly rustic or even primitive, but for Mongolians, it's a brilliant balance of adaptability, resourcefulness, and cultural identity. Then, there's the matter of horse culture. Mongolia is often dubbed the land of the horse, and for good reason. Mongolians have an almost spiritual connection with their horses, which have been their companions in war, travel, and everyday life since ancient times. Today, you'll still witness young Mongolian boys and girls riding with graceful ease that defies belief, beautiful girls in ornate traditional attire, galloping across the steppe, seemingly one with their steeds. You'll be amazed by Mongolia's style of hospitality, too. Have you heard of the custom where guests are offered salty, milk tea called sutetsai? Refusing might be seen as rude, but accepting it means taking part in a welcoming ritual that instantly bonds you with your hosts. And the strange part? Some visitors describe the tea's taste as more salty soup than typical tea. Yet, once you warm up to it, it's just another piece of Mongolia's tapestry of wonder. Mongolia's weirdness also extends to its festivals. The country's famed Naadam Festival might already be on your radar, showcasing the three manly sports: archery, horse racing, and wrestling. But did you know that many participants show up in highly intricate outfits that combine modern flair with ancient motifs? This cultural mishmash is a visual extravaganza, especially when you notice that wrestlers wear open-chested vests so no one can hide their gender. A tradition linked to an old legend about a woman who once dominated the competition. Let's not overlook Mongolia's animals either. While horses are the stars, how about the rare two-humped Bactrian camel? These amazing creatures roam the Gobi Desert and are built for some of the most extreme conditions on the planet. They're Humps store fat, not water, which helps them survive when temperatures dip below -40 degrees in winter or soar to scorching highs in summer. But our journey is just beginning. There are also surprising cultural quirks you'd never expect, from throat singing that resonates deep in your core to the universal reverence for Genghis Khan. And yes, that reverence can seem downright strange to outsiders. His statue towers above the countryside in a colossal display of national pride. When it comes to exploring Mongolia, there's no shortage of intriguing vantage points. Whether you're a traveler at heart or just a curious observer from afar, you'll find that what's considered normal in one culture can appear downright extraordinary in another. By learning about Mongolia's 19 strangest features, we're actually stepping into a space where we question our own norms and learn to see humanity's tapestry of traditions with fresh eyes. As we go deeper, keep one thought in mind. Mongolia's strangeness is its magic. It's in that air of mystique and raw authenticity that you'll discover exactly why this place remains one of the world's last true frontiers, where the old ways meet the new, and the boundless steppe whispers stories of centuries past. Ready? Let's begin our countdown. Now let's dive into the first set of strange facts about Mongolia, unraveling the layers one by one. The haunted flaming cliffs out in the Gobi Desert. There's a site called Bayanzag, commonly known as the Flaming Cliffs. At sunset, they glow a deep, fiery red. But that's not what makes them strange. Paleontologists flock here because it's a treasure trove of dinosaur fossils, including eggs. Some visitors swear they've felt an eerie presence among these ancient rock formations, as if dinosaurs once roaming the desert left a spectral imprint on the land. Throat singing, music from another world called kumi. Mongolian throat singing isn't your typical top 40 radio hit. Singers produce 2 or more pitches simultaneously, filling the air with haunting harmonics that echo across the plains. This art form has roots in nomadic spirituality and is often performed to honor the spirits of the land and sky. The sky is sacred in Mongolian culture. Tenger, or eternal blue sky, is deeply revered. Some say it's the reason Genghis Khan was unstoppable. He believed he was destined by the sky itself. This reverence means you'll find all kinds of rituals, from sky worship ceremonies to caution about pointing your knife at the sky. A big no-no if you want to avoid bad luck. Eagle hunting, a girl's best friend. Many of us imagine old Mongolian. Men out hunting with their eagles perched proudly on horseback. In Western Mongolia, particularly among the Kazakh minority, you'll find young women and teenage girls learning this ancient skill. Yes, actual eagle huntresses who train golden eagles to help catch foxes and hares in the brutal winters. This centuries-old practice isn't just about hunting, it's a testament to Mongolians' deep bond with nature. Blood sausage for breakfast. As if the salty milk tea wasn't surprising enough, Mongolians have a dish called korkhog, which involves cooking meat, often mutton, with burning hot stones. But the real eyebrow raiser is kashi, a type of blood sausage made from the intestines of sheep. While it might make some squeamish, Mongolians cherish this hearty meal, symbolizing resourcefulness in a rugged environment. The Morin Kur, horsehead. Fiddle. Another hallmark of Mongolian culture is this 2-stringed fiddle, topped with a carved horse head. The instrument's sound is said to mimic the whinny of a horse, linking the music to the very fabric of the steppe. You'll hear its melancholic strains echo at festivals, celebrations, and sometimes in solemn ceremonies. Naadam's gender bending. Uniforms, we already touched on the wrestling outfits, but it gets stranger. The wrestlers' vests have sleeves but leave the chest open, partly to prevent any disguised women from entering. Legend has it a woman once bested all the men, so now participants must bare their chests. It's a quirky way of safeguarding tradition, or excluding female wrestlers depending on your perspective. Unreal hospitality. Door always open in many nomadic cultures. The fear of travelers being stranded in harsh conditions fosters an open-door policy. In Mongolia, you can arrive unannounced at someone's GR and be greeted with food, tea, and a place to rest. It's a hospitality born out of necessity, but it also speaks to Mongolians' warm-hearted nature. The world's oldest national park? Bogd-Khan-Ul National Park, near Ulaanbaatar, claims to be one of the oldest protected areas on the planet. Initially declared a sacred mountain reserve in the 18th century, it predates Yellowstone by about a century. Locals believed it was home to powerful spirits, so preserving it was more than just environmentalism. It was spiritual survival. Ice festivals on Lake Kövsgöl. Lake Kövsgöl is often called the Blue Pearl of Mongolia. In winter, its surface freezes so thick that trucks can drive over it. Cue the ice festival, where locals race horses and reindeer across the lake's surface, carve sculptures, and celebrate the final grip of winter. It's a spectacle that's both visually surreal and culturally loaded, as reindeer herders known as the Tsatan bring their own traditions into the mix. These first 10 strange elements are just the tip of the iceberg, pun intended. As we move ahead, keep an open mind. Mongolia's quirks often tie back to spirituality, environment, or heritage. And while some traditions might initially come off as bizarre, they hold centuries of wisdom, shaped by a landscape as unforgiving as it is enchanting. Remember, if anything here sparks a question or surprise, drop it in the comments. We're exploring Mongolia together in real time, virtually at least. Now let's continue unveiling 9 more enthralling oddities that might just change how you see this remarkable country. Continuing our deep dive, let's explore 9 additional strange facets of Mongolia, venturing into more complex cultural territory and extraordinary phenomena. Shamanic practices in everyday life. While many Mongolians practice Tibetan Buddhism, shamanism remains alive and well, especially in rural regions. Families might consult a shaman for blessings, healing, or to connect with ancestral spirits. It's an ancient practice that predates Genghis Khan's empire, reminding us that nature and the spiritual realm remain intertwined. Counting the bones. Of the sheep after a feast, Mongolians might stack or line up the sheep's ankle bones called shagai for fortune-telling games. They read these small bones like dice. Each side of the bone represents a different animal, and the configurations predict everything from weather to the future fortunes of the family. It's entertainment fused with mysticism, a nod to pastoral life in tune with the land. Fortune-telling. Through knuckle bones beyond just entertaining, shagai are used by elders or shamans to discern truths about your destiny or relationships. Some game-like rituals can get competitive, but underlying them is a deep belief that these bones, once part of a living creature, hold echoes of spiritual energy. The superstitions around whistling indoors. In some cultures, a simple whistle inside the house might be a sign of cheer. In Mongolia, however, it's generally frowned upon. The belief is that whistling indoors invites snakes or evil spirits. These beliefs are woven into daily life, so think twice before you give a friendly whistle in a Mongolian gyrt semi-feral reindeer herders of the taiga known as the Tsatan. This small group lives in the northernmost reaches of Mongolia, herding reindeer through boreal forests. They rely on their animals for milk, transportation, and companionship. Seeing a Tsatan campsite with teepees amid a snow-kissed forest feels like stepping onto a different planet. Arag, fermented mare's milk, perhaps one of the most iconic and polarizing beverages in Mongolia, is arag, made from fermented mare's milk. Some say it tastes like sour yogurt with a punch. Locals relish it, especially during festivals, often passing around a communal bowl to symbolize unity. For newcomers, it can be quite the acquired taste. But hey, when in Rome, or rather when in the steppe, custom of passing snuff. Bottles' traditional Mongolian greeting might involve exchanging small snuff bottles filled with powdered tobacco or herbs. You offer yours with your right hand and receive the other person's in your left. It's a nuanced gesture that fosters mutual respect, bridging the gap between strangers. Odd silk scarves, kadag rituals. Kadag is a ceremonial silk scarf, usually blue to represent the sky. During important ceremonies, births, weddings, or even leaving an offering at a sacred ovu, stone heap, the scarf is presented to symbolize blessings. Foreigners might find it strange to see scarves tied to rocks or trees in the middle of nowhere, but to Mongolians, these are offerings to spirits and guardians. That colossal Genghis Khan statue. Let's end our list with one of Mongolia's most surreal landmarks. The gigantic steel statue of Genghis Khan perched on horseback, located outside Ulaanbaatar. standing over 130 feet tall. It's a testament to the unyielding reverence Mongolians have for their founding father. You can actually ascend the statue and stand on the horse's head, taking in panoramic views of the steppe. It's a bizarre yet awe-inspiring blend of modern construction and ancient legacy. Now that we've revealed all 19 strange things, you might be wondering, how do these intricacies weave together to form the identity of a nation? The deeper you look, the more apparent it becomes that Mongolia's oddities are not random quirks. They are the threads of a tapestry woven by history, survival, spirituality, and adaptation. From the dynamic interplay of Buddhism and shamanism to the practical needs of nomadic life, Mongolia's strangeness is often a mirror reflecting the timeless dance between humanity and nature. If you've traveled or plan to travel to Mongolia, each of these elements will shape your perspective. You'll step into a jeer more aware of the cultural significance behind every gesture, from the tea offered to you to the hush that falls when someone starts throat singing. You'll witness a festival and recognize that the vibrant costumes and open-chested wrestling uniforms aren't just about show. They're about preserving ancient legacies in a rapidly modernizing world. At this point, I hope your curiosity is burning brighter than ever. Mongolia might feel like it sits on the edge of the map, but it's a focal point of extraordinary cultural experiences, shaped by a stunning and sometimes harsh environment. Don't let the word strange mislead you. Once you lean in, you'll find a depth of meaning, beauty, and wisdom that few other places can match. As we come to the end of our deep exploration, let's circle back to a few burning questions and tie the threads together. Aoi. How do these strange things impact travelers and curious minds alike? For one, encountering Mongolia's strangeness compels you to see the world with fresh eyes. We often operate under the assumptions of our home culture: what's polite, what's tasty, what's normal. But stepping into Mongolia's realm of fermented mare's milk, open-chested wrestling attire, or spiritual offerings to the eternal blue sky forces a shift in perspective. This kind of jolt to your cultural comfort zone can be profoundly transformative, breaking down preconceived notions. B. Do these traditions still thrive in modern times? Mongolia is at a cultural crossroads. Ulaanbaatar, the capital, is rapidly modernizing, with global influences pouring in. Yet, rural Mongolia remains deeply rooted in centuries-old customs. The strange phenomena we've discussed persist, some morphing to fit modern contexts. For example, you might see a teenage eagle huntress streaming her practice sessions online, or a jeer with solar panels powering a satellite TV. The essence stays the same, even as the packaging evolves. C. What's the emotional or spiritual takeaway for locals and visitors? Dig into throat singing, eagle hunting, or the communal cup of arag, and you'll realize they all have an emotional core. A profound connection with nature and community. In a land where climate is extreme and neighbors can be miles away, the sense of belonging and reliance on traditions fosters communal resilience. For visitors, experiencing this warmth and unity can be a humbling reminder of humanity's capacity for adaptability and kindness. D. Why are beautiful Mongolian girls riding in the strangest place on earth? The spectacle of young women in Mongolia, riding across vast plains, showcased in vibrant online videos or photos, is more than just a tourist lure. It symbolizes a merging of grace and strength, a living tribute to Mongolia's heritage of horsemanship. It's strange to outsiders because few other places feature such an integral relationship between people, especially women and their horses. But in Mongolia, it's as normal as walking your dog. The phrase "strangest place on earth" might be hyperbole, but it captures how unbelievably different Mongolia can feel when you first arrive. Farkat, how does one truly embrace these experiences? Open-mindedness is key. Embrace the salty milk tea, endure the desert winds, let the drone of throat singing wash over you. Ask questions of locals, take part in their games, or attend a Naadam Festival. Each participation act is like a puzzle piece giving you a more complete picture of Mongolia's soul. Now that we've seen how these 19 unusual aspects fit into the Mongolian psyche, we can appreciate them not as oddities to gawk at, but as vital. Pillars of a culture shaped by vast distances, shifting climates, and an unbreakable bond with the earth. It's in this confluence of environment, spirituality, and tradition that Mongolia finds its true identity, a place where the improbable feels perfectly natural once you settle in. If anything, let these revelations spark a deeper interest in cultures beyond our own borders. Mongolia stands as a beacon for those who believe that the world still has uncharted corners, regions where ancient practices flourish under modern skies, and where strange is just another word for authentically alive. We've reached the end of our whirlwind journey through 19 of Mongolia's most astonishing, beguiling, and sometimes downright puzzling aspects. From the resonant hum of throat singing to the silent vastness of the flaming cliffs, Mongolia is a land where beauty and strangeness coexist in a delicate dance. But here's the real kicker. The more you learn, the more you realize that every single one of these oddities has a place in the larger tapestry of Mongolian life. You've seen how traditions like eagle hunting aren't just archaic holdovers, they're living bonds between humans and nature. You've discovered that a jir's circular design isn't merely about aesthetics. It's a structure that echoes centuries of familial and cultural ties. And you've come to understand that while customs like passing snuff bottles or wearing open-chested wrestling vests might look strange, they carry deep symbolic weight in Mongolian society. So here's the final invitation. Let your intrigue guide you further. Maybe you'll be inspired to read more about Mongolia, plan a trip, or simply remain more open to cultures that, at first glance, seem strange. Because in the end, strangeness is simply the doorway to deeper understanding and richer experiences. Before we wrap up, I have one more request. If you found any of these facts surprisingly awesome or just plain baffling, comment below with your biggest takeaway. Let's keep the conversation rolling. And hey, if you're hungry for more, there's a recommended video popping up on your screen right now that dives deeper into nomadic lifestyles around the world. Give it a watch and expand your horizons even further. I'm Lucas from Unmasked Planet, and it's been a pleasure being your guide through Mongolia's mysterious wonders. Until next time, stay curious, stay adventurous, and remember, every corner of this planet has a story waiting to be told. Safe travels and happy exploring!